Christian Geek Central is doing Extra Life again this year to raise funds for children in urgent need of medical care. You can help us out and get some fun rewards at the same time. Stick around after the video for more details. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We've got a ton going on here at Spirit Blade Productions and Christian Geek Central, including our in-depth Bible study for geeks, movie, game, and other entertainment reviews or commentary, live streams, Christian geek news, original audio dramas, and tons more. And on top of all that, you can become a Spirit Blade insider with an influential voice and get access to exclusive content and rewards. It's your involvement as a patron that will keep all of this going and growing, so I want to thank you for your consideration in that. For more information, please check out our Patreon page through the link below at patreon.com/spiritbladeproductions. Thanks for listening.
christiangeekcentral.com. Do you like games? I like games too. I like games too.
Hey, Peter Franson here from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. Returning once again, it's been a while, to my bookshelf tour where I talk about some of the nerdy stuff on the bookshelf behind me. This is part 13 of this series. The last time we visited this series was back in May, so coming back to it now, I'm giving myself 10 minutes on the clock, and we'll see what I have to say about what in that amount of time, starting now. Okay, Injustice: Gods Among Us. I bought this really pretty cheap, mostly just to play on easy and see the story, but I remembered very quickly after getting it, oh yeah, I hate all the pattern memorization required to pull off moves in fighting games like this. There's so much cool stuff going on in the costume designs and the story and stuff. I would really love the people that were behind the creation of this world, this version of the DC Universe, to create, to apply all of that, the storytelling, all that, to an open world, open city, maybe I should say, Justice League action RPG, single player, not DC Universe Online. There's just a lot. I mean, this thing spawned a comic book series, which I still haven't read, but I've meant to get around to. And yeah, so I really wanted to like it, but when I got it home, even on easy, I was just like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to do this. So, next up, Saints Row 4, including the expansion, it's like the re-elected version, comes with that expansion, Gat Out of Hell. I really enjoyed Saints Row 2 and 3, and this one is definitely more insane than 3. I actually prefer the Saints Row games to, say, the Grand Theft Auto games. I've tried Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5, and I just want, I'm crappy at games, so that's a big problem for me. And the way that Rockstar makes those, their open world games, there tends to be too much stuff for me to do in the way that they want me to do it, or too much stuff to keep track of. It's just like, I want to feel more empowered and just kind of set loose in a world that's kind of, like a real world urban environment. And this series did that for me until Saints Row 4. That's when it kind of went off the rails for me. It was getting kind of wonky and zany in Saints Row the Third, but in 4, there's like an alien invasion involved, and the setting really becomes so far from being grounded that I missed some of the fun of being in a simulated environment that's more like the real world. They made Agents of Mayhem later after this game, and that took it even further in just the off-the-wall cartoony kind of direction. And for me, the fun in an open city action game like this is to be in a world that reminds me of the day-to-day kind of city environment that I live in, and yet I'm able to do things that are wacky or crazy or off the wall, and people react to that. I don't want the world itself to be wacky. That's not as funny to me as kind of like the juxtaposition of my crazy behavior in a more realistic world setting. But realistic quote unquote, because again, I do like to feel more empowered and hard to kill and stuff like that than in the Grand Theft Auto games. So anyway, the Gat Out of Hell expansion basically takes your character to a city that's in like a hell. It's supposed to be hell, but it's like a city environment just with a hellish kind of makeover on it. And it has some frustrating flying missions that are required to progress in the game, and I hate those flying controls, so so I'm just kind of stuck in that game, not able to finish it. Lame. The tone is still intact, but I even more in this game missed being in a kind of a real world city. Moving on, Scribblenauts Unlimited. So we're getting into my PC games now. I have very few, especially physical PC games. I do love the concept of Scribblenauts, but I bought this more for my son than for me, and he never really got into it. He found other video games that he enjoyed. I do still have it in case, he or either of my sons wants to play it someday, although ultimately we got him a Scribblenauts game for my oldest for his Nintendo DS that he's happy with, and he's kind of played as much as he wants to. I did about a year or so ago buy the DC Universe Scribblenauts game. I can't remember exactly what the title is, but I lost interest in that pretty quick. I was excited about it. I was like, oh, cool, yeah, test my DC trivia as a big, DC Comics fan, at least used to be. But I lost interest in it because I felt like I didn't know what the game wanted. If you've ever played like a point-and-click adventure game, you probably know what I'm talking about. You're like, yeah, I think this is logical. What I want to do should be able to solve the problem that's in front of me. But the game's like, no, this, you can't use this object in the way that you're thinking you should be able to use it, And so I would summon characters or things from the DC universe that weren't able to do in the situation I was in what I thought they should have been able to do. And so I really kind of lost interest in the Scribblenauts series. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Now, I want to love this game because I'm a huge fan of Bethesda open world RPGs, but I got used to the console interface. That was my introduction to Bethesda RPGs, was on console, and I just prefer gamepad. I won't get into why. I have tried some gamepad configurations for Morrowind, but it seems to really break down in inventory management. Like, it can feel like it's made for gamepad while you're around and moving around in the world, but as soon as you get into your inventory and you want to move one object from one place to another or whatever, then it's, you can't get away from that kind of mouse type interface, and that's hard to do with any kind of controller configuration. Although I did get a Steam controller a while back, and I haven't tried making a go of this game with my Steam controller, and the graphics mods that you can get for it are pretty sweet. So I might make it like a vacation project sometime to get back into this one and find the mods that will make it fun, for me. More than likely, I think what I'll do is just not take that approach, and I'll wait until that Skywind, I think is the name of the mod that people are making, so that you can, if you have Morrowind, take those files and put them into the Skyrim engine if you also own that game, and basically play the entire story of Morrowind in the Skyrim engine, which I think I would probably enjoy a lot more. I heard that Skyrim on PC, which I have, oh wait, no, I don't have that yet. But I would buy it really cheap, at the right time. Was really made, with controllers in mind, even on PC. So that might be my way of one day really being able to enjoy Morrowind. I also have the Elder Scrolls Oblivion game on PC. I bought this cheap specifically to use with Morrowind for a mod that puts Morrowind in the Oblivion engine. Ultimately, it had some bugs and performance issues, so I'm either going to mod Morrowind, like I said, or wait for the Morrowind/Skyrim mod, as I mentioned also. Let's see here, moving on. Okay, Neverwinter Nights 2. Now, I have the disc for Neverwinter Nights 2 on my shelf. I don't have the disc for Neverwinter Nights 1 on my shelf. I lost it at some point, or maybe I can't remember why it wasn't on my shelf when I took video of it for this series, but I have to talk about Neverwinter Nights 1 first. That is possibly my favorite RPG of, I don't want to say of all time, but certainly my favorite PC RPG, and it's the one that I most consistently come back to in between other games when I'm like in kind of a slump and like, oh, I got nothing that's really like ringing my bell or whatever, so what should I what should I go and, play? Oh, dude, I haven't played Neverwinter Nights in a while. It's got that D&D world that I like. I just like that traditional classic D&D world with those traditional classes, and I love that real-time with pause gameplay. I think that it's not appreciated enough. A lot of people will say, oh, yeah, Divinity Original Sin, yeah, it's like Baldur's Gate. I'm like, no, it's not like Baldur's Gate, because Divinity Original Sin and its sequel are turn-based games. People will look at real-time games and say, oh yeah, it's like Baldur's Gate. No, Real time with pause, for me, is a huge difference between fully real time or turn-based. It is its own animal. I really like the ability to have just an easygoing experience and have the flow of the game moving forward and not bogged down into these really intense tactical decisions, except maybe every once in a while when you get into a situation that requires it, and then you can pause and make more specific decisions and then, hit go again to execute and stuff. There's something about that I really just love. It gives me the freedom to have the pace I want for the game, depending on what kind of gameplay I'm being faced with. And don't even get me started on like the user-made campaigns. You can, when you buy the Diamond edition of this game at GOG.com, which even if it's not on sale, I think is a great deal. I think it's maybe around $10 when it's not on sale. Maybe 20. It would still be worth it at 20 in my mind. Because there's you can't upgrade the polygons that I know of, but you can get some really nice texture mods for this. You have kind of a zoomed out view of it anyway, so I think this game is still totally worth going back to. But if you buy the Diamond Edition, it comes with the main campaign and like 2 more full-length campaigns from expansions that were, released near the time it came out. And GOG.com has it patched so it'll work just great on modern systems and stuff. And then once you finish those, there are tons of user-made campaigns out there. They used to be on a site that I think IGN was running called the Neverwinter Vault, which now is no more. You can use the Wayback Machine to get to it and still access a good amount of full campaigns and stuff. But there's a new version of the Vault that's not as good, but still you can find a ton of stuff there curated so you can sift through the crap and find the gems in there. There are campaigns in there that are just, this is the last game I'm going to talk about. There are campaigns in there that are just as long as the campaigns that come with it, and some that are even better than some of those, 3 main campaigns that come with the base game. There's even one campaign that was produced by a legit studio that was making this campaign for the game, and then the plug got pulled kind of at the last minute. They were never able to release it, and so I think just privately they just, as modders, released this, full-length campaign that I think it's called Daggerfall or Daggerdale. It's one of those words, something about a dagger. But anyway, man, there's talking about this makes me want to go back to it right now. But I've got other stuff I've got to do. Anyway, that's my that's all I have time to talk about. Next time looks like I'll talk about Neverwinter Nights 2. Then I'll talk about my strategy guides and codes and stuff like that, collections that I have. I got a whole folder for that. And then we're going to get out of video games and look at some of the nonfiction and reference books that I have on my bookshelf. So anyway, you can stay tuned for that. You can be praying for me. I've got the Extra Life live stream, this big annual live stream that I do every year, but right now I'm in the middle of experiencing a bunch of frame dropping issues and just all kinds of technical problems in my tests leading up to that right now. So I'm going to be spending maybe about a week or week and a half leading up to it trying to bang my head against a brick wall and get that figured out. So I'd appreciate your prayers both for the success of that stream to work out, and if not, for me to just have the perspective that God wants me to have about this instead of focusing on whatever negative things might come to my mind. So anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Hey guys, Pater Franson here from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. For my 5th consecutive year, I'm participating in Extra Life, a charity event that raises funds to provide medical care for children in urgent need. I'm also leading the Christian Geek Central Extra Life team, which you're still welcome to join by following the link in the description below. Once again this year, I'm drawing attention to our team's fundraising by performing a 24-hour marathon of video gaming that I will live stream to youtube.com/Christian Geek Central and christiangeekcentral.com beginning 6 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday, November 3rd. My goal is to raise $200 for my children's hospital. Our total team goal is to raise $700. You can donate on my page or any team members' pages by following the links below. You'll also find some incentives and rewards for donating to some of our team members. On my page, for example, for $5 or more, you can choose a topic to add to my +2 page of many topics that I'll be blabbing my opinions on during my live stream. For $10 or more, you get that previous reward and a download code for a free copy of the Spirit Blade Legacy Edition audio drama. For $20 or more, you get the previous rewards and you can choose a game for me to play during my November 3rd live stream. You can pick a favorite of yours that's in my library or torture me with something terrible or rage-inducingly difficult. For $30 or more, you get the previous rewards and you can choose a song for me to sing during my November 3rd live stream. Pick an old favorite of yours or just make me humiliate and torture myself with something that nobody wants to hear. For $50 or more, you get all those previous rewards and you get a download code for every MP3 product at spiritblade.com. That's a $90 value. Now, on top of all that, I've set fundraising milestones that will unlock crazy events as I reach them in my personal fundraising. When I reach $200, I will have a free download day for everyone who visits spiritblade.com on November 7th this year. And every $50 beyond $200 unlocks more free audio dramas for that free download day. Along with free audio dramas, reaching milestones in my personal fundraising will unlock weird stunts that I will pull during my November 3rd live stream, like turning into a monster, reenacting a moment from a favorite horror movie, or playing intensely embarrassing home videos from my past. Now, there are some stipulations and time limits on those rewards and milestones, so quickly follow the link below to my fundraising page for all of the details. I hope you'll be a part of helping me and the Christian Geek Central team do some good for some kids who really need it. And then please join me at youtube.com/ChristianGeekCentral for my 24-hour video gaming marathon starting at 6 a.m. Pacific on Saturday, November 3rd. Hope to see you then.